Best Oriental escorts New York has to offer. Call 754-58...
I think the women involved in this trade are coming over for a number of reasons. There are some women or some other people who help the women arrange marriages with the GIs. The GIs are paid off for these sham marriages to allow the women to come into the country and to get involved in the prostitution trade. In some instances, the women who are involved have been married legitimately to the GIs. The marriage falls apart, and for one reason or another, the women are on their own, and they gravitate towards the cities where the Asian massage parlors are flourishing. He's photographing the condoms here. This office has closed more than 100 of these establishments, probably closer to 200 over the last 10 years, and they keep coming back.
In the vast majority of cases where we close an illegal massage parlor such as this, arrests for prostitution have been made. In this particular location, all of the masseuses were of Korean origin.
There are military wives, and they're supposed to be one kind of women and live one kind of life. And then there are women in the entertainment industries, and they're supposed to play another role to support the American military. And they're never supposed to be the same women. They're never supposed to come together. And when they come together, I think it really exposes how contradictory the American military attitude is towards women. So I think listening really carefully to foreign-born brides of American soldiers is very instructive, because they reveal the contradiction that lies right underneath American military operations.
Jacksonville police have charged a 26-year-old mother with second-degree murder and felony child abuse after she told them she found her 2.5-year-old son under a toppled chest of drawers and a television set when she returned to her room at the Colonial Hotel. Police detectives said Chung's son France told them she had left work at a local bar on Mill Avenue about 7 Wednesday evening, leaving her son and 13-month-old daughter alone in the room.
Chung Soo Lin told police she left the child alone in the hotel where she lived about 7 o'clock last night to come to work here at the Apple Bar just a few blocks away. When she arrived home this morning at 2 o'clock, she found the baby dead.
So I feel real sad about everything, you know. I told them, they're asking me things, keep asking me. I say, oh, it's my fault, I don't know what happened, you know. I just told them it's my fault. And when I said that it's my fault, because same time I'm thinking about it, same thing. It feels like it, I should never brought to him over here, you know. That's what I'm thinking about it, you know. Then he should have been gone.
Jong-sun's friends began working in a military brothel in South Korea after her father died. In 1980, she came to the United States as a soldier's wife. Like 80% of these marriages, hers ended in divorce. Then, fearing an abusive second husband, she fled with her 2 children to Jacksonville, near the military base of Camp Lejeune.
Miss France was arrested during the latter part of May of 1987 and charged with second-degree murder of her child, Moses Krystowski.
See, it feels like it's my fault he died, so I just thought, you're probably right, I killed him. But I didn't kill him like that, though, you know. I killed him because it's my fault. I should have had a babysitting, you know. That's what I'm saying, what I'm thinking same time, but I told him, yeah, I killed him, you know.
In Korea, when there is a death in the family, it's always mother's responsibility. Mother takes the ultimate responsibility, saying that it's my fault, I neglected that child, so he ended up, or she ended up being killed or being dead. So it was so natural for her to say, I killed the child. She meant that in Korean sense, but not in American sense.
She was very emotional during the trial. I'll never forget the shrill noises that came from her were more animal-like. It was so foreign to me. It was frightening to me in the courtroom and other observers in the courtroom. It's just something you had to hear to believe.
I do think race is involved. I think the fact that Jacksonville is a fairly conservative community, it's a military-related community anyway.
and she was working in the bar subculture, so to speak, in Jacksonville.
Prosecution has been trying to say that you are a immoral woman engaged in an immoral business, so therefore that it's very likely that you would kill your child too.
We, the jury, by unanimous verdict, find the defendant Chong Sun France guilty of second-degree murder.
I think the fact that she was working in a bar as a barmaid worked against her. I think the fact that she spoke with a heavy accent worked against her. I am pretty sure the fact that she left the 2 children home alone to go to work worked against her. That is just not something that's acceptable in the American culture. To her, it was a way of life. She left the man she was living with, and she was alone with those 2 children, and she needed to support them.
I love them that much. I care about them. I care my family, you know, whatever I, you know, stay with, you know, whoever I stay with, I care for them, you know.
So they just kind of railroaded her into a conviction in a record. 10 days of trial, and the case, by the way, later was appealed to, I think, the North Carolina Superior Court, and they turned it down. And so she is now serving that 20-year sentence for almost 6 years now, I believe.
I think American people should feel responsibility, and they should understand what kind of role the American Army plays, and that those life of the prostitutes are very much dependent upon the American Army. I think American people should understand what kind of life these women has after they marry an American soldier and come to the United States, because from what we know, about 80% of them end up with divorce, and many of them are battered, and some of them are even killed. We know that there are women who are hospitalized in mental hospitals, or who had worked in a massage parlor, and because of the abuses that they get from their husbands after they go to the United States.
There are 2 kinds of things going on there. The traditionally unequal relationship between the U.S., which called the shots in Korea ever since the 1940s, and then also the long history of Korean patriarchal practices, which makes women's bodies controlled by men. I don't think we can let Korean patriarchy off the hook. It's in there very intimately and integratedly involved in it, including the patriarchal leaders of the South Korean government.
As in the Yoongeum murder case, Korean women, many wives of U.S. servicemen, led the campaign for justice for Jong-sun France. As a result, a special hearing was held and the governor commuted her sentence. After 6 years in prison, Jong-sun France was finally free. Now living in New York, she is trying to rebuild her life.
지금 준미 씨가 생각하는 뭐 어떤 자기 계획 같은 거 없는 계획이나 아니면 어떤 희망?
나는 돈 모아서 혼자 살고 싶어.
뭐 할 거야?
뭐를 해? 돈 모아서 혼자 산다니까?
준미 씨 그런 생각 안 해? 그런 걱정 안 들어? 자기가 나이가 들면은 이제 50대 되고 그러면.
난 그런 거는 신경 안 해. 이제 심판도 얼마 안 남겠다 뭐.
딴 사람들은 그런 분들이 나이 들면 어떻게 해?
나이에 들은 사람은 이제 다 외출했으러 뜨지. 외출했을 뿐이 더 떠? 야, 우리 아직 젊으니까 이제 홀에서 뛰고 춤추는 애들 춤추고 그러는 거야. 이제는 원하는 것도 없어. 이제 꿈도 없고. 꿈이 있는 사람은 뭔가가 좀 편안한 마음이야지 꿈이 있는데 편안하지 못한 상태에서 어떻게 꿈을 꿀 수가 있어. 뭐 앞으로 뭐 장래 내가 어떻게 해놓고 살겠다. 뭐 집을 어떻게 가꾸겠다. 방을 어떻게 꾸미겠다. 그런 꿈이 없어 나 지금. 그냥 되는 대로 살아가는 거지.
My hope is I want to see my baby. I want to hold him. I want to take him to the Burger King or McDonald's, and then I want to put him crown in his head. I take him to the shopping center. What kind of cute clothes he want to wear, and I want to change his diaper, and then I want to feed him some milk, and I want to take him to the park. I want to educate myself more, so I can independent myself. I can get better job, so I can afford my boy, my son, and raise him, proudly, and then pay attention to him, love him more. Something I don't have when I was young. I want to give him more love. Choose him right things, what he needed to do his future. I want to be a good mother. If I have a daughter, I'd like to show her how much I love her, how much I care for her. If she'd like to know, I'd like to tell her about my past life, past history, because it's nothing to hide, because it's me. I think the good woman is someone love herself.